If the Leo eclipse asks you what you're ready to step into, this Pisces partial eclipse asks you what you have to release in order to become that person. Welcome everyone to the Goddess Temple. My name is Chris, and for today's message, we're diving into this depth, this place that goes further down within you. And it's our emotions. It's our emotions that we're being asked to touch on, that are coming to the surface, that are, for some, it's even gradually being exposed, gradually coming to light, to be illuminated. And as you're navigating through this, because it's a bit of a slow illumination, a slow release, you're given the opportunity to move through these emotions gradually, with a little bit more discernment, with a little bit more ease, to make more deliberate choices, to actually have more time and space so you can make more deliberate and precise choices. And now, why is that important? Because it's going to help you to reframe your structure, to reconstruct and redefine what your base structure is, what your base emotions are, the way that you assign certain habits, behaviors, stories, the way you assign and declare what life is for each part in your world. And so to reconstruct and redefine even the boxes that you have compartmentalized each aspect of your life. You might even start seeing people that you have seen as being one way and noticing that, you know what, maybe I was wrong with the way that I saw them. Maybe my perception was a bit distorted and at fault. What if this person actually did mean to come off in a nice manner, in a good manner, and it just was that they caught me at a wrong time, or I just assumed that this is what they were stepping in with and this is how they're approaching it. So it's just moving through all of these waves. You're given an opportunity to move through all of these waves within your life. You're given an opportunity to find and rediscover who you are, because there's certain emotions, certain stories, certain past experiences that are resurfacing. And I know I've mentioned this in a few of my couple of videos. I don't know if it was a couple or if it was the last new moon video that I had done. But you are being asked to look at more into aspects of your past that you may have not been able to. And a lot of these past stories are coming back up, and they're giving you an opportunity to redefine them. And I know I'm repeating myself, but to redefine them in a way where it brings you to life, where it allows you to restructure your life, to not hold on to these stories and make choices so this part of your life can take hold of your life. These stories are not meant to live on for so long. They're meant to come, move in, and then move out. And then at other points in your life, you'll probably remember them again, but they're not going to have the same weight to it, the same heaviness, the same shame, limits, guilt, all of these emotions that might be attached to certain people, certain things. You're being asked to be elevating yourself emotionally, mentally, physically. You're being asked to evolve, to grow. And because at this time that it's more specifically Pisces based, it's that sign is just purely emotional. There is just this little bit more available with the transition and the transformation you're going through. You're learning about your own strength and the way that you have thought of yourself as being kind of frail, weak, limited, that you're realizing, wait, that's not the story I want. That's not a story I'm going to keep entertaining. I am going to choose something else, something different. And because this is a Pisces full moon, and plus it's a partial lunar eclipse too, it's really giving you the opportunity. This is so potent. It's giving you the opportunity to redefine who you are, to redefine how you even understand yourself. Because it could be that the way you understand yourself, the way that you notice certain behaviors and patterns that you have, it was from what other people have told you about you. It may have never been your own understanding and perception of who you are. It's about time that you start telling your own story, that you're the one that says, this is who I am. These are the characters and the qualities that I have. These are my characteristics, and that I am going to continue to nurture, grow, learn, elevate. I want to be surrounded by people that are complementary to these qualities. I want to be a part of community that can mingle with me and that I can also mingle with them too. You're learning to understand that your emotions are not just there for the sake of being there, but they're giving you an opportunity to highlight your own strengths, and that you're going to find more and more people that are going to notice these qualities about you and take a bit of a more positive spin on it, a more positive outlook on it, and maybe even be able to support you in growing and looking at your life differently and supporting yourself differently. They might even give you tools, they might inspire you to do something different, to redefine certain limitations that you may have had. Like, this is the potent time for you to redefine your life. Now, your life is a bit of a grander scale, but let's narrow it down within yourself, because you've been on this journey of redefining who you are. You've been on this journey of understanding what your own power and your strength is, especially with this time of the year. This is the potent energy that you're discovering, especially because in other cultures, in the culture that I'm raised in, during this time, this past couple of months, from end of July, mid to end of July till August, till end of maybe even till mid-November. It's a lot of the celebrations that we have are around the goddesses and various expressions of the goddesses. It redefines and it teaches you how to strengthen yourself, and it restructures you in a way that allows you to go within. It equips you in such a way so you can go within and to move through your own internal winter season. And yes, your winter season is going to be receptive to your external climate as well. So just taking this opportunity to set yourself into this transitional point from putting out, right? Creating projects, creating things and services and creating with people, to then going down within yourself and still showing up for your community, but opening yourself up to receive and allow for community to show up for you. And as you keep allowing for community to show up for you, you're starting to notice different qualities about yourself. And this is what's going to continue to move through, especially during this time. It's so potent, and it's just going to amplify that much more. This is the time that it's going to be an emotional release. And why I'm highlighting this emotional release is because Pisces is being the last zodiac sign in the chart. And because it's the last zodiac sign, I feel like it's the completion of something more, a completion of emotions that just were not dealt with, or that you may have been passive about, or that you may have just kind of swept under the rug a little. It's giving you the opportunity to actually look at it with a little bit more gentleness. And internally, for yourself, it may be gentle and soft, and you're approaching life a bit calmer, but there's a possibility that other people around you might take a look at what you're going through and be like, what the heck? Why is this person so emotional, so loud, so all over the place, and just not steady? The thing is, especially with the water emotions, it's a wave, and you can't just force one over the other. But what you can do is come back to your basics of taking a deep breath and following your heart, following what your basic needs are, and making sure that you're able to take care of your basic needs. Making sure that if you need to take away any extra activities, any extra social activities or social interactions, just taking those away a little bit, and just so you're refocusing your eyes, your sight back into yourself. And that's going to give you a little bit more space in the room to move through your day to day. And the more you keep giving yourself that room to move through your day to day, you're going to start realizing, okay, you know what? I have the capacity, the bandwidth to continue to move through the waves that are coming through my life, the emotions, the past stories, and to, because your goal is not to move through it quickly and fast, because with water energy, it's the one of the worst things that you can do. You cannot force your way down the water, because it's just not going to work, right? If the current allows you, you'll be able to move through it. Now, the current isn't going to be something external only, it's going to be within. The more you are able to calm yourself, your internal forces, and give your external space a bit of a calmer space to be in, right? Your external environment being just a little bit calmer so you can move through your emotions. And a little less stimulation is going to be that much more supportive for your system, because a lot of stories are coming to an end. All right, a lot of your emotions about who you are, about even your own strength, your own power, your own possibilities, right? Because all of these emotions are coming to an end, coming to a close, you're going to start naturally putting in the work into new activities, into building your new structure. And so you already have been actively cleaning through this part of yourself. And you've been doing that through this new moon that just passed. And so right now it's just going to amplify a little bit more of the work that you're doing. And now you get to see the peak of it. And it's going to allow you to begin to implement new stories, new expectations, new possibilities that you can actually start to implement, new activities that you can start to do. Now you'll start noticing that you're going to have a little bit more space and room to do what you like to do. And the things that you don't like to do, you're going to say, you know what? I'm going to hold off on those. I'm not okay with those. I'm not ready for those. I'm not available for those. But I'm going to do what I'm here to do right here, right now. And I'm going to do more of things that I like and enjoy. The more you get to show up for yourself in the way that you want to show up, do the activities and things that you enjoy doing, it's going to bring you up that much more. It's going to uplift you in so many ways, in a way that it's going to show you your own strength and your power. You're going to start redefining in real time through real experiences. You're going to start to redefine and re-understand who you are, your own strength, your own power. And it might feel, even just experiencing that itself might feel a little destabilizing. But with this Pisces full moon, it's allowing you to step into that emotion, that discomfort. And because everything is moving just a little bit slower with your emotions, you're going to naturally start seeing yourself adapt to this new identity that you are. And it's not necessarily a new identity, it's just that you haven't embodied the possibility that you are, the possibility that lives and that is available for you. Now you're practicing this possibility that is here. And so there's going to be these few basic things that I'm going to ask you to navigate through. These are questions that you could be asking yourself throughout, especially when your emotions are kicking in. And the thing is, when you ask these questions, the key is not to get an answer. The answer will naturally come, but it's for you to practice, to allow for life to guide you, for your surroundings to guide you, for you to be moving down your most peaceful, aligned, highest path. And it's that intention that you're able to set. And it's for these questions that are coming up for you to gain clarity so you know which direction you're moving in. And since you've already been setting the intention that you're wanting to understand what your strength and your power is, and also understanding that the direction that you're going is for your highest strength and your alignment. And so because that intention is set, you don't have to wonder if that is where you're being directed, because you are. And now it's just this other little part that's going to come in, that's going to support you. And it's going to help building other little aspects of the foundation that are necessary. And so these are the questions. What am I feeling? What am I sensing? Right? So noticing your sensory inputs, your 5 senses, and how that's playing out. And what are the senses that are being activated? What am I afraid to let go of? Where am I surrendering? What am I intuitively knowing? And so these questions are going to help you to illuminate your truth rather than for you to go in the direction of just kind of passively going through it, or going through it without being so grounded. These questions are going to help you to ground yourself, to ground your intention, to ground your direction that you're going in, and for you to continue to reaffirm and remember each time that, oh wait, this is where I'm going. Oh yes, of course this is where I'm going. Oh yes, I already set that intention. This is where I'm going. And can be a little bit annoying. I understand that. But it's going to really help you to move forward in a more aligned direction. And so the more you're realizing and understanding these little truths of who you are and what you're forming, who you are being, it's going to show you aspects of your life that you've romanticized, that you've thought that it was one way, but you realize, you know what? What if the story that I had put in this, what if the meaning that I had towards a relationship, it actually didn't have the same weight? So what I mean by that is that, let me put it like this. There was this one relationship that I had gone through. It's going to be a bit of a personal share, but there's one relationship that I've gone through, and it was one of my longest relationships. It lasted for like 6 years. And during that relationship, I put in all of whatever I had, everything that I had. And in the end, what I found was that the amount of work and energy that I had put into that relationship, it was not being returned back to me. My partner at the time was not giving me the same respect or the same type of work, intention, emotion into the relationship, into the dynamic. And I didn't realize to what degree that we both did not even have the capacity to have these confronting conversations, to bring up certain things that we were not okay with. And it made the relationship fall and crumble. Like, I couldn't hold on to anything. I realized, wait, there's something here that I'm not even seeing. There's something here that I did, that I even put in, that I'm not seeing. Yes, this person did stuff to me, but that's besides the fact. How did I step in and mess this up too? Because they wouldn't have reacted, responded, done these things unless there was something that I had done that I had not seen. And it made me do deeper work. It allowed me to take a break for a good 3 years of just not wanting to step into a relationship and really take time for myself. And then eventually ended up finding myself into a relationship 3 years, 4 years later, actually. But it's allowed me to see aspects of myself that I could not see. It allowed me to improve myself in ways that I was not able to. It allowed me to see how the home that I had grown up in, the family have, all of that in the way that it had impacted me, and the base core foundation that I had, that it made me react a certain way, it made me come off a certain way in my relationship. And I realized, wait, this is not okay the way I'm even showing up. And so, because I'm able to navigate through that, and let me put this main thing is that I actually wanted to see these qualities because it can be painful to see them. And the thing is also, you don't have to do this to have a better relationship. To a certain degree, yes, but at that direction is not for everyone, and it can be quite overwhelming to actually notice certain behaviors and patterns you have. If you're not doing this with a supportive community or with a therapist, it can be extremely challenging. So please be careful when and if you are going down that path and direction, just to be doing it a bit more discerningly, and just to not jump and dive into it and ask and set these intentions, because I know we don't hear it. I know it's not so loud and up in your face, but there's so many intentions that you've set. There's so many vows that you've made that you don't know what is needed for you to continue to move forward, for you to withstand that relationship, withstand that dynamic. So please be gentle and discerning of how you're moving forward. And so I'm also going to step into this little other aspect of life, which is your work, money, and purpose. And this is going to ask you to dive in deeper, because you've already been diving into what parts of you have you been holding back on, and stepping into your career differently, stepping into your work differently. And so from that, with this full moon, you're being asked to be a bit more practical with how you're approaching your work, your money, and your purpose. And for you to be a bit more cautious with what you're doing and why you're choosing what you're choosing, for you to make it a bit more practical. So, just like our five senses, right? It's tangible, it makes you feel things, it makes you remember that you're humanly alive and that you have this physical body. And so, because that's more prominent, the same applies for your work, your money, and your purpose. It's not something that's just dreaming up there, but it's something that is to be grounded and anchored down. That's why we do work, we take steps, we take actions. And the more you keep doing it, and you have to do it consistently, because the natural force of it is the desire. The natural, uncontrollable force of you doing something, you putting out the work, is the desire itself. But for you to maintain that desire, to keep it alive, to keep it being something available in there, you actually do have to put in the physical work. Even on the times and the days that it's just not active, it's not alive, it seems very quiet, calm, passive, but I feel like at this time, it's going to amplify a lot of that. Your emotions around who you are as you step into your power, as you step into your force. All of that's going to amplify that much more. And it's going to teach you a little bit more about yourself, that, wait, you actually do have different skills and qualities. You know what? You can do things a bit differently. And that you have the capacity to do much, much, much more than you think. It's going to amplify and give you the opportunity it's going to give you the opportunity to actively practice embodying the type of qualities that you want to have as an employee, as a boss, as a leader, as a follower, as a supportive community, active community member. Like, you are going to redefine these qualities, these more emotional, meaningful aspects to your work, money, and purpose. The thing with feelings is that it comes and goes. So that this time, this energy is going to teach you a lot about the emotions that are coming in waves, and that they're not meant to last. They're actually going to be ending. And once it's done, you realize, wait, I'm thinking about something that's not actively present, that's not moving me. And yet I'm operating as if that emotion is still active. And that's false, right? So you're learning to even ground your emotions, to be a bit more discerning. And the way that I like to practice it is through your five senses, knowing when you are feeling a little bit more sensitive. It's supportive for you to decrease your external stimulation, also dimming down lights, different music, different sounds, being a bit more in nature, taking in natural lighting, moon bathing. Moon bathing really teaches your body how to shut down your body, shut down your brain to slowly prepare itself so it can start going to sleep. And so even at night, everything is active, but it's a different type of active. It's more of an internal active force. And so it's much more subtle. And this is where your five senses are going to come in, because these are subtle aspects to you. Touching on these subtle aspects, your five senses, noticing the way your heart beats, right? Noticing the way your skin feels, noticing the way that uh, certain certain tastes are, noticing the way certain sounds are, right? Even giving your eyes a bit of a rest, giving it a bit of a soft gaze. And that soft gaze is really going to start waking up certain other chemicals in your body. I think it's the melatonin that's going to start waking up. Is that? Yeah. It's going to be a bit of the melatonin that's going to start waking up, because serotonin is a bit more of your active mind. Melatonin's a bit more of, this is when you're starting to calm down. And so at nighttime, that's what's supposed to activate. And so the more you keep meditating, you're inviting that chemical to turn on and to be activated. And so it's going to be supportive for you to not also have a lot of your emotions be so loudly active, but to quiet them down and to give it a different meaning so it doesn't disturb you as you're moving about your day to day. So this way you'll be able to put aside the fear, the limitation, that story, kind of just put it aside so you can continue on with your day, but then also give yourself the time to come back to it and address it, to look at it, to move through it. And it's important for you to build that relationship within yourself, within your day to day, because it's going to teach you more about what's available for you, about your own spirit. And it's going to allow you to sleep better at night. I know that's a bit of a big statement, but it's supportive in the way that you're able to rest. Because without rest, one of your basic needs is rest. Rest, sleep, it's very important. Without that, you can't function. Your human body does not function the same way. And yes, I know that you've probably heard other yogis that do practice, like they only sleep for like an hour or two during the day, or during the night. But then the rest of the day, they're active, they're moving, they're doing things. Thing is, to do that, it requires a lot of work, and I don't think a lot of you watching this are wanting to go down a monastic path. So let's keep it a bit more practical, right? Um, a bit more everyday, basic, okay, maybe not basic, but human life, everyday social human life, right? The important part is that you're going to start to notice what aspects, what memories, what stories are being released. And as you're leaning into this, it's going to have you ask, once I stop carrying this, once I stop holding on to this emotion, this story, what is possible? What becomes possible for me? What can I adopt in this space that is of love, that is of expansion, that is of growth, that is going to support me in the long run? What is that little piece that's going to come in? And this is what you're discovering. At this time, it's not about defining necessarily what that is, but it's about being curious about what that could be. And typically, one of the first ideas that you get is what's going to be placed into it. It's the most natural, effortless next step for you. A natural way for you to embody this next phase of who you are. And this is going to support you into stop fantasizing about your future, but to actually take active steps, to take practical, active steps towards the type of life that you want to have. It's no longer going to be just a dream that you have, but it's going to be the life that you actually live. This is when it becomes so fun, so interesting for you to move through your day-to-day life, because you're finally learning how to live a practical life that is meaningful, grounded, and elevating for you. And it also is supportive for your community, for society, right? We are also in this phase, as you've been hearing more and more, is we're in this phase of new earth, where we are redefining what life on earth is, what day-to-day life looks like, what the structures of companies and societies are, and to restructure it differently. So it's going to start with even your ability to dream something different, something other than what is here. And for you to understand that there's nothing wrong with having community-based type of intentions. There's nothing wrong with those type of softer, more like I want to do something for people around me. It's You're going to start to learn that a lot of the intentions that you have, you're a lot more softer and oh my gosh, I'm losing my words. No, come back, words. You're going to be a lot more softer, but you're also going to understand that there is a practicality to what your intentions are, that you're being more um, receptive to your community around you, and that you're saying, you know what, there's this little part that has not been addressed. There's this little part that someone could do something. Let me step into that. Let me provide that. Or is there someone or something that can help me, support me, to bring that to life? Because I believe that it's going to help more people than we think that it would. That it's actually a practical thing that does allow for all of community, all of society to grow and elevate at the same time, and to not leave the weak, right, quote unquote weak behind, but to uplift everyone forward to the best of their abilities, to show people that, you know what, the possibility and the potential is here. Now it's your turn and your choice to reach your hand out and take it. For you to not just take it, but to step into and to also support and provide, right? Um, it's This is just going to bring about a different way of thinking about life, a different approach to your day-to-day life. And so it's important for you to start listening to what and how you see yourself and how you see your day-to-day life. And so at this time, I know a lot of you keep hearing during this full moon, always set new intentions and, manifest for your next little goal and journey. But at this time, because it's a lot of things are ending, it's not quite time yet for you to put in your new manifestation. It's not quite time yet for you to end off everything either. Things are going to naturally go downhill. But the thing is, right now, allow for this full moon to show you what is available, what you have been working with, and it's going to just illuminate for you who you are right now and how you might want to shift. It's You can ask yourself, what's the better way for me to do things? What's a different way that I can do things if you want to change something, right? And the thing is, these are going to be qualities, questions that you have of things that you naturally have been wanting to change. And that's what's going to be amplified right here. So giving yourself the courtesy to move through it to the best of your ability so you can thrive that much more, right? This illumination, full moon is really going to amplify so many aspects of who you are. And so I truthfully hope that you guys have the capacity and give yourself the space, the room to move through it with discernment, with ease, with love, and within a safe environment. And so I truthfully hope that this message was supportive for you and illuminated what it needed to illuminate for you. And with that little bit, I wish you guys all the best, and I will speak to you soon.